Oh yeah, nice and shaved. What is going on, everyone? My name is Under the Radar, and welcome back to the PPL videos. Now, this week I'm actually really excited to be bringing you guys the team, because first of all, I'm going up against Schady. I'm coming off of a pretty cool win last week against, also if you see me looking down, it's because I'm actually getting the Mons traded to me as we speak. Figured it'd be a really good time for me to go over the team and kind of remind myself as to what I wanted. So, the team that, let me, hold on, he's messaging me, the team that I'm bringing this week, I'm actually really excited, because I'm facing Schady of the Bayern Mewnich. Now, if you do not remember last season, he 6-0'd me. I'm not going to say I gave him the win, but I didn't try in the slightest, didn't care about the matchup. I brought like 6 meme sets, so I wasn't too into it last season, and I guess for some reason people don't seem to understand that when somebody doesn't care, like a 6-0 is just not that big of a deal. So it's whatever. However, this season I'm going to beat Schady. It has been my sole, my thing this season is that I want to beat Schady. That's all I care about in the entire season. If I can beat Schady, I don't care if I lose the rest of my games realistically. I'm not going to, but I don't care if it happens. So, the team that I'm bringing, I'm actually really excited for. I've kind of been trying to play a bluffing game all season, leading up specifically to this game, because I knew how the matchup was going to look instantly whenever Schady looked at it. So, first thing I kind of want to talk about that I've been doing all season. I've used Swift Swim Kingdra once. It'll kind of bait him into thinking that Swift Swim Kingdra is coming against him. Reason why that's important to me: I want him to prepare for it, and I want it to be threatening to him, as threatening as possible, and I want him to realize this, and I want him to over prep for it, so that way I can kind of sort of hopefully slide some other things on the team that he won't expect to be the main win cons that I'm actually bringing. Another thing that I have done like once all season maybe is bring hazard removal. Schady has a need. Actually, let's just go over his teams. That way I can tell you, I can go over a little bit more in detail. His team is Clefable, Nidoqueen, Latias, Rotomwash, Lucario, Sneasel, Gourgeist, Armaldo, Mega Pidge, Mega Turkey Burb, Thingamabobber, and Simisear. So why is it important that I made sure I didn't bring a lot of hazard removal? I want him to think that he can hazard stack me. I want him to think that he can set up a layer of Toxic Spikes and a layer of Stealth Rocks and a layer of Toxic Spikes on me. Reason being, the second that he thinks he can do that, I'm able to go into my Mewcastle and I'm able to defog them away, and I'm able to get up rocks against him, and then that's actually really key to the entire game, because his team does not like rocks against my team. The second that I'm able to break something like a Sash Lucario, I'm able to get off the 25% on Mega Pidge, I'm able to get the nice chip damage on Rotomwash. He doesn't have a lot of switch-ins to my offensive threats, so Stealth Rocks on his side of the field are extremely important, while having hazards on my side of the field I do not want. I'm also able to do some really cool stuff with this team matchup in general. I'm able to bring a mix of things that really mess him up and things that I really want to bring. My team is actually really unique for my liking, because it has mons that I thoroughly enjoy using, like Miltank. It has things like Kingdra. It has things like Celebi. Celebi is the main one. Celebi is probably my favorite mon on the team. In general, I absolutely love it. I don't know why I love it so much. I just do. However, I wanted to make sure that I could bring a mix this game, and I think I pulled it off pretty well this week. So, with that big, massive intro, since I'm still getting the team sent over to me, I think there's only one mon left for him to send over to me. Also, huge shout out to my boy Kyle, Sleepy Knight. He's absolutely amazing. He gens so many of my teams for me. I absolutely love the dude to death. I will put the link to his Twitter in the description down below, so you guys can always go check him out if you do so, please. Anyway, the main thing that I wanted to do this week was kind of sort of put him in a tough spot from the very beginning. I went back and I looked at what Schady does for like his leads and the way he likes to build, and I've been studying a lot this week because I want to beat him so badly. First thing I noticed, he really does not enjoy leading with something that is not Nidoqueen to get up hazards, or Rotom to Volt Switch. He likes doing that to gain momentum. Also, he's led with his stupid Sneasel thingy one time. Should I say what I think he's going to be bringing? Should I do that? Is that a thing that I should do? I don't think it is, but I'm going to do it anyway. So if I had to guess what he's going to bring, I would guess he's going to bring Nidoqueen, Latias, Rotom Wash, Lucario, Turkey Burb, and Gourgeist. I don't think he's going to be bringing Clefable because I do have a Mega Scizor and a Nidoking, which can really threaten it. I don't think he's going to be bringing Sneasel because I do have a Mega Scizor, which deal with it extremely well, unless he's like a Natural Gift Fire. However, if I'm not mistaken, he cannot run Icicle Crash and Natural Gift Fire, just by the way the Move Tutor stuff works. So that's really cool to know. He's either missing out on his main form of Stab, or he's having a way of hitting Mega Scizor, which I can just roost back up. So I don't think Sneasel's coming. If I had to guess, it would be Nidoqueen, Latias, Rotom Wash. Lucario is so scary for my team, Gourgeist, and Mega Pidge. Lucario is a massive threat for my team that I actually prepped for quite a bit to make sure that I had multiple checks of dealing with it. I don't have a lot for Nasty Plot Lucario. That's the main downside to this. However, if he's Nasty Plot Lucario, he kind of does have a much harder time dealing with my team in general, and that's always good. But let's go ahead and take a look at the first mon on the team, and that is actually going to be my Celebi, my favorite mon on the team. I'm bringing a Kebia Berry Celebi this week with 180 in speed with a timid nature, 108 in special attack, and 220 in HP. That is enough speed to outspeed, I believe it is Jolly Max Speed Lucario. Let me double check that. Lucario. Jolly. Yep, 156. Yep, so I hit 157 speed, which means I outspeed Jolly Max Speed Lucario 100% of the time, which means if he leads off with his Nidoqueen, unless it is Choice Scarf and he wants to set up rocks, I can hit it with a really powerful Psychic, be a lot of out to his team. I can outspeed Max Speed Rotom every single time, and I can click Giga Drain, and even if he is like defensive, he has to be like extremely offensive to do a lot to me with Signal Beam. It does about 70% if he has max special attack with like a timid nature, so I'm not super worried about Signal Beam on his Rotom. And I can easily 2-hit KO physically defensive with Giga Drain. I can U-turn out on things like the Gourgeist. I can U-turn out on the things like the Latias, because Latias can't really do a whole lot to me. But the main thing that this thing is there for is to get a lot of damage off on Nidoqueen. If he wants to go for Poison Jab or Sludge Wave, neither one do more than 50%. If he's Adamant or Modest Life Orb. So because of that, that means that Lucario, he has to be at +2 to Okami with Extreme Speed, and if he is that set, I have another check to that in the back, which I will be going over. If he thinks that he can outspeed me and kill me with a Crunch, I get a Psychic off, I do a lot of damage to it. I guarantee to a KO every single form of uninvested HP Lucario with this spread, so I can do a lot of damage to it with Psychic. Stealth Rocks, as I said, are very important. I did not want to be bringing Miltank this game, specifically because of Lucario. Lucario can come in and do a lot of damage to it, and it basically gets a free kill every single time it comes in on Miltank. I don't have good switch-ins to it. I never wanted to give it a very good switch-in. So because of that, I went with Stealth Rocks on Celebi with kind of a bulky pivot, and I really like the way it works out. The only way that it'll be a little bit useless is if he does bring Sneasel. That just means that I can't lead off with it, and because I won't be able to lead off with it, that just means that I have to have another lead, which I will go over later on in the video. So, as I've been going through this, I'm sure you guys can notice he does not have a whole lot for Rain in general, so the first thing that I knew I had to bring was Politoed because Rain. I wanted to also make this a really decent check to Clefable if it is like Calm Mind or Cosmic Power or anything like that, so I'm bringing Encore, Haze, Toxic, and Scald. What Haze does is it completely gets rid of its boost. What Encore does is it locks him into it for 3 turns, so if he wants to, say, set up Calm Minds, I can Encore him, go into something like my Mega Scizor, my Nidoking, my Kingdra in the Rain, my Kabutops, whatever. I can do a lot of damage to it with other moves, and that's really important. I can also outspeed it. I put 20 speed EVs. This means he has to put, I believe it is 76 speed EVs in Clefable. Let me double check that. Clefable to reach 93. No, it's more than 76. To outspeed me, he has to put 104 speed EVs. Why is that important? He will not do that. He will not put more than 100 speed EVs into a Clefable unless it is offensive. If it is offensive, it is much less bulky, and that means it is much easier for me to kill with my other mons. That also means that I outspeed, I believe, what was the other thing I needed to make sure I outsped with this thing? Invested Gourgeist, I believe it was, so I can toxic it. Something along those lines. But the main thing is I wanted to have a really good check to set up Clefable. What this also does is this gives me a pretty decent switch into the Turkey Burb. Every single time it comes in, I can switch into this thing. It takes less than 50% from Hurricane. And what that means is that I can set up the rain, I can get off a really powerful Scald, I can toxic some stuff, I can be really ow, and then go into either Kabutops or Kingdra and pick up a couple kills, especially if his Rotom Wash is weakened. His only ways of dealing with rain, so either sack something and go into Habanberry Latias, or have Rotom Wash very healthy. So I need to make sure that I can weaken Rotom Wash, hence why I have Celebi as a lead. I really like this spread of Politoed. I think it works out extremely well for the team, and I think it'll actually catch him off guard a little bit. The next mod on the team is actually going to be the offensive threat that I really wanted to bring this week, and that is going to be my Kingdra. I'm running another timid Kingdra with 164 in speed, 4 in both defenses, 84 in HP, and 252 in special attack. Surf, Hydro Pump, Dragon Pulse, and Draco Meteor. I'm running dual stab only. That's all I needed. And I'll go over why here in just a second. The 164 in speed allows me to outspeed Choice Scarfed Sneasel. Why is that important? It is the fastest thing on his team that is not Mega Pidge, so what that means is that if he brings anything that is Scarfed and he thinks he can come in and revenge kill me because he thinks I'm going to be like modest or something, I can outspeed it in the rain, Surf, Hydro Pump, Dragon Pulse, Draco Meteor, just do a lot to his team. The things that resist both of them are nothing. So that's why I'm saying he has to bring either Habanberry Latias or like have Rotom Wash very healthy. Surf and Hydro Pump to Clefable if he's like Fizz Def, guaranteed to a KO. Easy Oko on Latias. Lucario, he has to be pretty bulky and have a Sash intact to be able to live a Surf in the rain. Sneasel just dies to a Surf or a Draco Meteor. Armaldo does not like Surfs. Gourgeist does not like Draco Meteors. It can take 2 of them, however, it does not enjoy taking them. And Mega Pidge does not like Surf, Draco Meteors, or Hydro Pumps. Dragon Pulse is there if I do not see Clefable, and I expect him to switch into Latias and I can get a kill. Like, say I can kill Nidoqueen with the Dragon Pulse, but I want him to go into Latias so I can break the Habanberry earlier. I can click Dragon Pulse, break the Habanberry, next turn, kill it with another Dragon Pulse or a Draco Meteor, and be wham bam, thank you ma'am, have a nice day, and we'll be good to go. So, you're probably looking at the item, and you're seeing Cheelonberry. What in the piss is a Cheelonberry? Well, Timmy, I'm glad you asked. The Cheelonberry is extremely important. Schady has been terrified of Cheelonberry all season long on sweepers. What it does is it halves damage taken from normal type attacks. Yup, this is going to be my way of double checking Swords Dance Lucario. So, this scenario I played out in my head a couple times. Say he sets up a Swords Dance on something like a Choice Scarf Nidoking or a Mega Scizor or something of that nature, and I cannot kill it. He knows I'm bulky, I don't have superpower, whatever have you. Say he sets up a Swords Dance and he knows that he can sweep up my team with extreme speed. That is not true. I can go into anything, sack it off, go into my Kingdra, and as long as I'm above 60 some odd %, I live a +2 extreme speed from Adamant, Life Orb, Lucario guaranteed, hit it with a Surf, and it does a lot of damage. What that means is that I can go into my Mega Scizor, which I will hopefully still be alive, and I can kill with a Bullet Punch. That is my goal. That is what I'm hoping can happen realistically, because Mega Scizor is extremely important in this game. I would rather not sack it off to a Lucario in order to get in my Kingdra. I would rather sack off my Politoed to get up the rain, then go directly into Kingdra and still have Mega Scizor still alive, because Mega Scizor does a lot to his team outside of it. It does a lot to Nidoqueen, believe it or not, even if it's fully defensive. Clefable, it takes a lot from Bullet Punch. Latias doesn't appreciate Bullet Punches. Rotom Wash, again, is the only way that it can really take it on, so Dragon Pulses do a lot to it. So Rotom Wash is going to be extremely pressured. Sneasel just dies. Gourgeist does not appreciate taking Bullet Punches or U-turns. Armaldo does not appreciate taking Bullet Punches, and of course Mega Pidge does not like taking Bullet Punches either. The only way that he has a guaranteed switch into it is if he brings fully defensive Simisewer. If he does that, I'm going to poop myself. But realistically, Cheelonberry is the coolest meme of the team. It's something that he's been scared of and nobody's brought it, so I'm hoping that I will be able to bring it and I'll be able to poop on him with it. I've been scared of berries all season on things to stop Mega Scizor, but I really think that Cheelonberry on this thing will come in handy for the Lucario, and I really think it's going to bring Habanberry Latias. The next thing on the team that I knew I had to bring was, of course, my Mega Scizor. I said I had to bring hazard removal, so I'm bringing a physically defensive Mega Scizor with 44 in speed in case he is offensive Clefable. This then means that I think he has to be 252. No, 252 reaches 112 with an uninvested nature. So he has to be like a lot of speed invested to outspeed my Mega Scizor with his Clefable. But I also have Bullet Punch if I'm fearing like the Fire Blast. I can U-turn out on it, get a good switch into something like my my Nidoking to threaten it out, and I can do a lot of damage to it that way, or Salvage Torn, or Togetic, or anything else on the team that really I know can live a hit and do a lot of damage to it. Togetic can't do a lot of damage to it, so ignore that statement. However, Roost, Defog, Bullet Punch, U-turn, very standard, physically defensive. It is going to be my designated switch into Sneasel if it does come. I really needed pivoting, that's why I have 3 U-turn mons to get into my Politoed to sack it off to get up Rain, to get 8 turns of Rain boosted Surfs and Hydro Pumps. That is going to be my way of winning this game, is by clicking Hydro Pump and risking the miss, which is depressing after what happened last week against Liam with Stone Edge. But having Bullet Punch is extremely important in this game. Can really clean up late game if I get his team weakened, and that's really, really important. What this also does is this guarantees that Calm Mind Clefable cannot sweep me. Because, spoiler alert, I'm bringing Choice Scarf Nidoking as the last set, and it's going to be physical, so as long as I can get off that one Bullet Punch, instantly in range of Poison Jab, good to go. So, this is very good for guaranteeing that damage. It also means that in order for him to beat my Nidoking, he has to have Lucario left to be able to take 2 Poison Jabs. Choice Scarf Nidoking also does a lot to his team. But Mega Scizor is extremely important in this game. It also lets me scout out what item his Lucario is, because with this set, the only way you can 2-hit KO me reliably is with Choice Band after I'm Mega Evolved. So that's really good to know. That means he's not set up, and that means that he doesn't have a way of reliably killing my Kingdra in the rain, because that means Cheelon Berry Extreme Speed just doesn't mean anything. The second to last mon on the team is going to be my Tornadus Therian. I've been bringing very Assault Vest. I've been bringing very offensive Tornadus Therians the entire season, realistically, just because offensively Tornadus Therian is very hard to switch into. Flying Stab, Spurred Bam is extremely hard to switch into. However, I need to prove that I have the superior burb that has 120 base speed. So I'm running max speed, 196 into HP. 60 into defense. The reason why I have 60 and 196, that is specifically set to make sure that 2 extreme speeds from Lucario do not take me out. So I can switch into rocks, and he can think that he's going to be able to kill me, but he's not going to be able to because I am so bulky. This also ensures that Hurricane is not a 2-hit KO from his Mega Pidge. However, my Hurricane does 2-hit KO him. That's extremely important. I beat it 1v1, and with no guard, I guarantee hit my Hurricanes. He can't stay in on me. His only switch into this, again, is Rotom. I have 3 things that can do at least 25% to Rotom every single time it comes in. So whenever it comes in, it's going to take damage, it's going to take rocks, and it's going to be very easily worn down. This is also extremely important for trying to knock off things like Clefable's Life Orb if he brings Life Orb or leftovers, Habanberry on Latias if he thinks he can switch that into a Hurricane, U-turning around on things like the Sneasel if I can outspeed unless he is Scarfed. I can live in Ice Shard pretty comfortably, and I can U-turn out if I'm at full health. Hitting Hurricanes on things like the Gourgeist is extremely important. This thing in general is just crucial for his entire team. Superpower is there specifically to hit Lucario and to hit Sneasel. I cannot allow Sneasel to get a kill on me, so if I know that he's not Life Orb or something like that, I can click Superpower and one-shot it to guarantee outspeed it. Same thing with Lucario, I outspeed it 100% of the time, unless it's Scarfed, and I can do a lot of damage to it with Superpower. I love Bulky Tor in this game. I love Torn in general. It's one of my favorite mons in League format, and I'm hoping I get to show why it is in this game specifically. Now, everything on this team seems like a really good win con. Celebi can be a pretty big win con depending on the team he brings. He might not have a way of killing it reliably. Kingdra is a massive win con, does a lot of damage to his team and really breaks down his walls. Mega Scizor is a win con. Tornadus Therian is a win con, but here is the one win con that I'm hoping he forgets about while prepping for Kabutops, Kingdra, Tornadus Therian, Mega Scizor, and all of the other threats that I have. I'm hoping he forgets about Nidoking, because it poops on him. 110%. Choice Scarf Nidoking does a lot of damage to his team. I'm running Physical, Choice Scarf, Sheer Force with Earthquake, Ice Punch, Poison Jab, and Rock Slide. Rock Slide is there just because I did not need a final move, and I needed a way to kill something like the Sneasel and the Mega Pidge. I can lock myself into Rock Slide. Earthquake, Ice Punch, Poison Jab. Going down the list, he has nothing that resists all three. Clefable is 2 KO'd by Poison Jab. Nidoqueen is 2 KO'd by Ice Punch, unless it's like fully Fizz-Def Yachi. Latias, same thing, unless it's Yachi. Rotom Wash. This is where Rotom Wash being extremely pressured comes in handy. If he is Spadef, which I think he has to bring, it is one of his few switch-ins to Kingdra. I 2-K him with Poison Jab. That's awesome. Lucario is his only switch into Poison type moves. It is O-Code by Earthquake. Sneasel, O-Code by Rock Slide. It also, after Rocks, is O-Code by Earthquake, so if he doesn't have a Levitator or a Flyer, he's going to have at least 2. Gourgeist is 2-KO'd by Poison Jab. Armaldo is not 2-KO'd by anything, because it is so fat. However, I don't think Armaldo's coming, unless he tries to like Swift Swim counter sweep me. It's not going to happen. Turkey Burb completely one-shotted after Rocks by Ice Punch, and then Simisear is one-shotted by Earthquake. This thing poops on his team late game. If I'm able to see what he has left and I can lock myself into a move, I kill everything, and this is going to be the true win con. I cannot play recklessly with this thing. I cannot switch this thing into Rotom. As badly as I'm going to want to stop Volt Switching, I cannot do it just because it will screw up my late game plans, and I can't have that. Earthquake is just, like, this thing in general, so crucial for the entire team, and I'm really excited to be using it, honestly. I think it is probably one of the cooler mons for this week, just because Nidoking, it hasn't really impressed me too much this season, while everything else on my team has. So I'm really excited to hopefully have Nidoking be the biggest win con of the team. But with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you leave a like down below. Also, make sure you go over to Shady's channel. Absolutely fantastic dude. I believe he just recently hit 500 subs. Make sure you guys go show him some love. He's probably one of my favorite people in the community. Even though he might argue sometimes, he's still one of my favorite people. Absolutely love the guy to death. So, thank you guys again so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy it, and I will see you tomorrow with the battle. Bye-bye.